Good morning, secured entrepreneurs. You all know it's going on 3 a.m. It's about 10 to 3 right now. I want to tell you all that Brown Wizzy came to Vegas on some work conference, and you know how you go to these conferences and you get all these little goodies in your bag. Well, when I went to a visit with him at the hotel, he had this bag full of stuff, and I started going through the stuff to take what I wanted. And one of the things that I took was this little phone ring light that I said, oh, this is nicer than the one that I have because I can actually charge it via the computer or whatever. The one that I have takes 2 AAA batteries. So I said, when I'm up here recording these videos in the wee hours of the morning, the way that I do, and y'all know I'm the new Rainbow Bright, so hey, I started testing this little ring light, and it has 3 settings. So I put it on the first setting because I'm going to tell y'all right now, nobody wants to see all this paleness on the 3rd setting at 3 a.m. It's not right. In this morning's video, Miss Aurorah has to talk to you about turning your mind into a money magnet. This book that Miss Aurorah, and it's small enough so those of you who are interested in it and you're a reader, you can read the book within a day. I think it's like 79 pages. And so I read the book throughout a day. Now, the particular day that I read the book, what had me, like totally for it, was one of the things that he's saying that we should be doing. And he's coming from the laws of physics. So he talks to you all about the laws of physics and how it is you're actually going to create the things that you desire to see show up physically, how you're going to create these things in your mind and see them show up physically. And he uses the law of physics to explain it. Now, we've got many teachers on the forefront that, teach the law of attraction and all this stuff like this here. However, a lot of people are coming from the premise of maybe prayer, to which I don't have a problem with saying that or using that word. But for those of us who understand that, and on this channel, we know we're all adults here. So we talk about, different religions and spiritual practices and things like that. We honor everybody's path. Okay. However, we know that it is energy. We know that it is a vibration. We know that it is a frequency, right? So he gets into some things in the book that I have previously experienced, or I experience on a regular basis. Okay. And I'm not going to really get deep in this video because some of the secured entrepreneurs know that we have hefty conversations about things that people have not been able to explain either via religion or in their environments, things that have occurred that they've witnessed that has happened to them as a result of some of these practices or things that they may have thought about or heard about. And then they see a manifestation of something in the physical. They cannot explain it, which is why a lot of people leave traditional churches, because the things that they are really going through on an energetic level, and we turn that word in, spirit, which is a man-made word. We know that we're going through these things on an energetic level, on it's a frequency that we tap into, whether we recognize it or not, right? So for the secured entrepreneurs, I want to share one of the practices that he doesn't tell you to put into practice. He's telling you to do it, but he doesn't really outline it that way in the book. Now, if you invest in this book, I'll tell you now that there are many typos in the book. Clearly, the book was not edited, and that's all right because the book is substantial. I want to share one of the things that really stood out to me that I think is going to be really good for the secured entrepreneurs, okay? This book is written by Peter Sanzel, all right? And after he talks about the laws of magnetism, okay, he gives you the 3 laws of magnetism. He gets into how it is you're going to build a strong magnetizing mind, all right? So he says, here's what physics tells us. An object can possess energy as a result of its, number one, position, which is the potential energy. Number two, the motion, which is the kinetic energy. And deformation, which is elastic energy. All right. Then he comes on down and tells us that this is also called quantum leap. So back it up. What does this actually mean for you? You can move from one position to another without going through any steps in between, going from A to Z in one step and leaving B, C, D all out. This is also called quantum leap. It also means that you can become anyone you can imagine, endowed with any skill or talent you need. Going back to my question to how to get the energy to do it, you have to jump to a higher position. It means you have increased the distance between your current position and your desired one. This will automatically increase the potential energy, and you gain your energy to do the work now. Your new goal is feeding you with the required energy to get there. Now, let me add something about energy discovered by Albert Einstein. He had opened up a revolutionary idea that energy and matter are interchangeable and equivalent. E equals mc squared. Energy equals mass times the speed of light squared. In other words, matter is energy, and everything we see is simply a form of that energy. It's neither created nor destroyed, but simply changes form, from formless energy to form and into material objects and effects. In the last century, as physicists went to work with these new ideas, many shocking discoveries were made. And we now know that the behavior of the tiniest particles of matter can be directly affected by the acts of measuring and observing them. We've learned that the scientists' intentions and expectations about their behavior can change or predict that behavior. In other words, science has begun to recognize that our thinking, our intentions, and expectations directly influences and even directs the behavior of these tiny units of energy. Everything which is form, including you and me, is also formless. And what's more, everything which is form is temporary, and everything which is formless is eternal. We also know now that our attitudes and states of mind, our thinking, directly affects our physical health. This idea is now widely accepted. And because all things reproduce after their own kind, it follows that you are a powerful creator. This is an invitation to discover our own power, as well as a reminder of the responsibility that comes with that power. We are completely free to choose our thoughts and actions, which is the law of cause and effect. If this, then this, always, now. If either the physics or the spiritual aspects of all this are as fascinating to you as they are to me, you can certainly learn more. We already have access to this immense power that is within us all, because we are thinking centers and can originate thought, which is the beginning of everything. Read further and start to develop your own power in life. Now, that's the setup for the juiciness, because now he's going to get into building your magnetizing muscles, building your mental muscles. Right now, here's the part. I'm going to jump on down to the part. This is under build your mental muscles. So he talks about imagination. Then he gets down to memory. So now here we go. People usually think about memory as remembering something from the past. Did you know that you also have a future memory? Your memory can work in both directions. It means that we know more than we allow ourselves to know right now. We have an intelligence system built in us, and we can work in harmony with it all the time. In the moment when we step into our future goal, we can download the feeling of having it. We are using our imagination, and we actually feel the desired state right now. We can see it with our inner eyes. So bring your ideal picture to your mind. You can imagine what you want. Now you see yourself in this future reality. Let's say you went 2 years from now into the future, and you are visiting your future self. Everything you wanted and imagined 2 years before actually manifested, and you see it now in this reality. Now just say hello to your future you and ask, how are you doing right now? What did you do in the past? And how did you get all of these great things in your life? Then let your future self speak about it and listen carefully. You will get the information that the current you needs. You will get some helpful ideas which you can use in your current reality. Understand that all the things you want are already created in some other stage or reality. You can't see them right now, but they are there. You will not have the desire to get it if it has not been created already. I repeat, you will not have the desire to get it if it has not been created already. This way, you can actually download the important information which will help you move ahead. Now, many of the secured entrepreneurs know that Miss Aurorah is an involuntary astral traveler. Okay, these things happen just because they are happening. I've not learned how to control the travel. Okay, I've not made it up in my mind, I'm going on an astral travel. No, this is really something that's happening. So prior to reading this, I started a practice of, when I see myself in these places, I'm going to start looking for a clock. I'm going to start asking people what today's date is. I want to know what time it is. Tell me exactly where I am. You know, I'm collecting names, numbers. I'm getting some data, right? Because this whole thing is insane, right? So I start this whole thing of kind of like tracking, you know, even the hours in which this travel is happening from this reality, from this dimension, right? So all the secured entrepreneurs know that part of the questioning has to do with, all right, what business do I have here? Did I build something here? Am I working something here? Do I have, like what's going on? Like those are the things that I want to know, right? So when I read Peter's book, I was like, okay, this makes so much sense, because you all know Shiny Peggy was the catalyst to me having the ability to meditate properly, but meditate at a degree at which I really have been able to tap into the right side of my brain to create things that I actually desire to see here in this reality. This takes practice. So kudos to all of the secured entrepreneurs who really can do this, okay? Because this is beyond, I'm going to sit in the middle of the floor for 10 minutes and deep breathe and all of that. This is now we going way beyond that, right? So now, because this is More Money Monday, okay? After reading this, what I began to do was take myself 5 days, 7 days, 10 days. I didn't take myself to 2 years. I'm not, because we all know that time is valuable, and this is the only planet where we have time. Okay, so in the physical body, we know that we have more time behind us than we do ahead of us. So because the universe loves speed, now I need to talk to myself 5 days ahead, 10 days ahead, 20 days ahead, 30 days ahead. So now when I take myself ahead, the questions that I'm asking are very well-defined questions. Like, I'm asking for some exact things. What did you exactly do to bring in X amount of clients. How did you serve these clients? Exactly what is it that you said? Where did you go to meet so and so? Okay. And allow myself 5 days out, 10 days out, 20, 30 days out to tell me. And I ask myself, I need for you to tell me clearly so that I understand in the mind that I am in the moment. Because one of the things that I bumped into, and many of you probably have experienced this as well, when you see your future self is going to say some things that you haven't caught up with yet, right? And many times I have told myself some things and I come back here and I'm like, now I got to start researching this because I don't know when this is going to really come into play. Now, why is it that you can do this? Because just like Peter said, everything that you've already cooked up in your mind, everything that you've already desired to have, be, do, whatever, has already been created. You would not be thinking these things if it were not already in there. We're not already so. So this morning on More Money Monday, do not change your mind. Now, I'm not talking to people who are going to go out there and harm other people. I'm not talking about harming anybody or casting revenge on people. I'm not talking about any of that. I'm strictly talking about the secured entrepreneurs who have real business endeavors, real financial goals, because I understand that. Now, I'm this type of person. I really don't have any interest in loans and stuff like that. Like, I don't have interest in any of those things because I understand that I am my own bank and I have set things in place to make that happen. Okay. So that's not anything that I'm interested in. So when I'm talking to myself, I'm asking myself how it is I did the things that I needed to do to get to the place that I'm trying to get to in the reality that I'm sitting in right now, in the date and time, in the moment that I'm sitting in right now. And I need for myself, who's already there, to explain to me clearly what I did. Did I call someone? Did I send an email? Did I go someplace? How did I connect? And instruct me so that I can understand it right now, how it is I need to deal with certain situations. Now, I would suggest that because we do know that there are extenuating circumstances that may be holding us up, that may be preventing us from doing certain things, ask your future self. Ask yourself who is already there. And the reason why you're going to do it that way is because you know already that you made it. You know already. So you know already that you're there. You know already that you accomplished the goal. You know already that you did it. So now you're going to ask the person that you are in that time, how did I accomplish this? How did I do it? Now, beware, secured entrepreneurs. If you're not an astral traveler like Miss Aurorah, and you've never taken yourself to other places or even have had it happen to you involuntarily, okay, it could be a little freaky. But I am telling you that this is going to be an extremely helpful, energetic tool for you to begin to practice so that you can begin to move forward. Because we know that astrologically, there's stagnant energy in places. Okay, we got some stagnant energy, but you need to know how to begin to work with that energy to still get to where you need to get to at a time when you know you need to be there. Because Ms. Aurorah already talked to you about that spirit of delay, the vibration of delay, the frequency of delay. It is there. It's riding your back. Okay. And you have got to ask your future self how it is you did battle with that vibration, with that frequency, with that energy. How did you overcome? What did you do? What were the words that you said? What motion did you put within your body to move ahead? Like, I'm telling you that you'll need to start to exercise these things. As we know, this year astrologically is huge. And I'm not going to get into all of that in this video because Ms. Aurorah is going to come back and answer some of the emails. And I want to thank you for emailing. Please continue to do so at info@aurorahdayconsulting.com. Ms. Aurorah reads all of your emails. So far, I've had 3 VIPs back to back. I want to thank you. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful for all of the secured entrepreneurs who came on board already in the month of April. We got 1 more VIP this weekend. And so everybody's going to get all their stuff this week. We're working double time to get everybody's documents out and to get all the trainings done and all of that. And if you do not have the video that Ms. Aurorah did about the FinCEN and the beneficial ownership reporting, send us an email, info@aurorahdayconsulting.com, and we'll get that out to you, okay? That's what I want to share in this morning's 3 a.m. Shenanigans. I will be back, and until next time, you already know, you can find me, Ms. Aurorah Dey, at aurorahdayconsulting.com. Hey, ta-ta.